Hello, guys. We are going to see game 3 of the FIDE World Championship that just ended, and it was a very thrilling game. So, let's jump right in. Just give me a second. This is my first live stream. This Sunday, by the way, there's going to be a live class with you guys. Do join for that. This is my first time doing the live class. There's no students here. It's just completely empty. It's just viewers and me. So, let me take you to the game. Just a moment. So before this game, Ding was leading by 1 point. It was 1.5.5 in Ding's favor. Hello, hi guys. So this game, Gukesh was white. He started with d4, queen's pawn. Ding plays knight f6. Gukesh played knight f3. So we'll go through the opening a little fast. It was a very solid opening by Ding. d5, and now Gukesh goes for c4. And Ding chooses e6. So now it is transposed to the Queen's Gambit declined variation. Gukesh takes on d5. Ding takes back with the pawn. And Gukesh calmly places knight to c3. Ding cements the center with c6. Gukesh places queen out and pawn to g6, preparing to fianchetto and supporting the f5 square for the bishop. Gukesh plays h3, kind of preparing g4, right, which happens later. Bishop to f5, hitting the queen. Gukesh goes to b3, attacking the b pawn, and now Ding plays queen to b6. Very normal response, right? Offering an exchange of queens. And Gukesh goes for an interesting move, g4. It's all prep for Gukesh. Ding is also in his preparation at this moment. And Ding goes for takes, and here comes a very critical moment of the game. What will you do to save this bishop? If you are black, how would you save this bishop? If I was black, I would probably go to e6 and then develop my knight and say it's fine. I'll play a6, I'll castle and bishop out and bring the rooks into the game. Ding plays bishop to c2. Why is it such a difficult move to make? The bishop is almost trapped here, isn't it? f5 is not there, and if the knight's not there, f3 will stop this escape square. So here Gukesh plays bishop to f4. Very interesting move, inviting Ding to take the free pawn. What happens if Ding takes the free pawn, guys? What will Gukesh do? You can see white's pieces are also active. 3 active pieces. Black is only one here, no coordination. Undeveloped pieces. And Gukesh would play, what will he do? Knight to d2. If the bishop goes to c4, takes e3, and white will get back the pawn. And if you defend with b5, bishop g2. And white will be really good there because of activity. So the bishop will come back to c2, but then rook c1. And if bishop goes to e4, f3, piece is trapped. So bishop to f4 is a good move. So bishop taking the pawn is out of the question. So Ding doesn't do that. After bishop to f4, Ding brings out this pawn forward, challenging this pawn which is controlling the f5 square. That's where the bishop can escape to, right? So h5 played, and Gukesh calmly moves his rook across, defending the pawn and maintaining a pawn on g4, stopping the bishop from going back. So takes. The bishop is still living dangerously on c2. Knight to d7. Sorry, the knight was over here. Sorry, knight was on f3. We had discussed knight d2. So knight to d7, and now Gukesh defends his pawn. Now the pawn is no longer for free. One move back. If you take the pawn, like if black had, like after this move, if black had taken the pawn, knight d2, bishop c2, there is a very cute idea which is g5 to bring the bishop back. That idea was there for Ding, but it won't work in this situation because bishop takes knight. White wins a piece, takes, and then rook c1, and you win the bishop. I mean, sorry. After g5, sorry, 1 second. I get confused here. 1 second. So after bishop to f4, the pawn was here. 1 second, guys. Okay, so we are discussing in this position before knight d7. If black had taken the pawn, knight d2, bishop comes back, rook c1, and now g5. This pawn was g5, right? The rook is already here. And here, white will just take the knight, rook takes, and then take the bishop. So as long as the knight is not developed, this is possible. But now that the knight is out in the current position, where the pawn is here, this pawn is not taken, and rook is here. Here, bishop takes pawn is a threat in the air. The same idea would bishop takes pawn, knight d2, bishop comes back, rook c1, and then g5. That's how Ding's bishop would get out. So here, knight d2 defends the pawn. Gukesh played that. Rook to g8, preparing g5. When the pawn pushes, g5 is prepared. Gukesh makes a very committed decision here, which none of the commentators expected. Like here, rook c1 is one idea. He goes for g5. With that, he loses control of f5, which means the bishop won't get trapped like that. Knight h5, bishop is attacked, bishop moves, and now Ding plays rook to h8, keeping an eye on that bishop. Here Gukesh goes for f3. So Gukesh is saying, this square is still there for you, but I will have a good sender with e4. So he's preparing e4. Now Ding can retreat with the bishop now, if he wants to. He first plays his knight back, which is the best move. It's hitting the bishop. Gukesh moved the bishop. By now, Ding is down to his last 30 minutes. This is a 2-hour game for the first 40 moves. He has got so many moves to make. This is only move number 17. 23 more moves in 30 minutes, which is very difficult. The bishop moved, and now Ding played rook to h5. There was still chance to go back with the bishop and then escape, in which case Gukesh will get the sender with e4. He goes rook h5, attacking the pawn, and now comes Gukesh's idea. He goes for e4. He's not worried about this pawn. He's threatening rook c1. So if you take this pawn, rook c1 wins the bishop. So Ding takes, Gukesh takes back, and now Ding brings his knight. This is where the game gets really interesting. You have to see, rook c1 is coming, but after rook c1, Ding has planned knight takes pawn. But now you might think bishop f2, winning move, right? Removing the defender, a very simple case of removing the defender. If you move the knight, bishop hangs, so which means the piece is gone. But Ding has planned bishop g7 for that. Now if you take the knight, bishop takes back, and the rook will be hanging. And when you move the rook, then bishop takes, knight takes, and bishop e3. He will get one more pawn for the piece. So that will be 3 pawns for the piece. But Gukesh surprised Ding here. He played a move other than bishop takes knight. Gukesh plays, can you find out the move he played? A winning move in this position. If you give 3 pawns for the piece, it's not winning clearly. There is a way to win a piece by giving only 2 pawns. Yes, let's see what are the comments. Knight e2. Yeah, Ali Raza Firouzja is saying knight e2. That's right. Knight to e2, discoordinating everything. Like the pieces are now in the way of each other. If knight takes knight, bishop takes back and rook is hanging, and this bishop is hanging. And if you don't do anything, I will take here. So what do? It's kind of gone. It's a piece gone. So now Ding has to go for 2 pawns for the piece. He takes, knight takes b3. Gukesh wins the piece. Knight takes d2. Sorry, knight is here. Knight takes d2. And rook takes back. So after the exchange of everything, now it is a piece up. Sorry, king took back. Rook was here, the king took back. He kept the rook there itself. If rook had taken, was there a problem? Probably not. He just wanted to activate the king. Okay. King takes back. Knight jumps in. Now it is a different phase of the game, right? Yeah, it's a different phase of the game where Gukesh is a piece up. Normally you would be confident about winning this, but black has got 2 pawns and there are some problems with these pieces being stuck here. So it's not that clear. So Gukesh still has to play actively to win this, and he plays like very strong chess. Like I'm not sure I would play the moves he did here. In this position with knight f3 a threat, Gukesh played the brave knight d4. Brave, confident, like calculated. He's not worried about rook d8. Rook d8 happened. He has no problem. Like this is somewhat in the air. He's going into a pin. But then Gukesh has plans. He just moves his king across. He's saying if you want to attack, do a discovered attack, you can do it. But there's nothing to attack. There's no knight move that will attack anything. There's no problem here. There's no check. King g4 would have allowed knight e3. But king e2 sidestep everything and he is now completely in charge because the bishops are coming out. Rook came to h2. Now just bishop to g2. There was a small threat of rook takes knight. Yeah, but bishop g2 stops it. Now Ding doesn't know what to do. Like Ding is like he's down a piece. He tried things, but now he has nothing to improve. Knight g4 is somewhat possible, but then I believe just bishop g3. No, not bishop g3. Knight f3 should be good enough. Kicking the rook away, and then rook will come here. So here, after a6, Gukesh just calmly plays b3. Now you see they are just passing the ball to each other. Another waiting move, rook d7 by Ding. Gukesh brings the rook back. He's in no hurry. I'm a piece up. I can improve my position. e7. Another sort of waiting move, and now Gukesh improves his rook with rook to d1. King goes back. Ding is down to 1 minute 50 seconds. Before this move, he had 6 minutes 50 seconds. Here he panicked, like he couldn't do much. Knight g4 was there, but it doesn't do anything after knight f3 kicks the rook. Everything is going perfectly for Gukesh now. He just makes a waiting move with king e8, and now Gukesh pounces. Gukesh coordinates everything. Bishop comes in. Now that the knight is defended by the rook, rook went back to h5. Ding has 1 minute 49 seconds. Knight f3. Now you see everything is coordinated. The extra piece is going to do the job. And this pawn stays. And this pawn stops these in a future endgame. So knight f3. Okay, knight f3. Knight takes. And here Gukesh takes advantage of his opponent's time pressure, plays very fast. Does not play bishop takes because then rook takes and there's a pin which will affect his lines. He takes with the king. The idea being, if rook takes, bishop h4 is coming without the bishop hanging here. So that is the idea. So here Ding plays bishop to d4. Because if you exchange rooks, there is no point, right? And you can't take the pawn because of bishop h4 after the exchange. He just brings his bishop to d4, attacking the rook. Gukesh just moves his rook to h1, and Ding has nothing else to do, just take the pawn, right? If you take it, second good. He takes the pawn, but now Gukesh does the final pounce, the final lunge. What is it, guys? Can he find the finish? Opponent is down and out, you just need to make sure he's out. Bishop to h3, attacking this rook. This rook is tied down to the bishop, so he can't go here because of bishop h4. So he plays f5. Do we take? No, bishop to f4. More pressure. And this is where Ding lost on time. He has nothing better than rook h5. And as soon as he, like just before finishing the move, his time ran out. But even if he had played rook h5, what do you guys, what will you play here for white? There is a winning move in this position for white. Let's see if any of you can find it in the chat. White to play. Let's see. Okay, I want the answer, guys. Thank you for the compliment. But what is the move? White to play. What is the move Gukesh would have played? Maybe in 5-10 seconds. G4. Just no. Bishop G4, rook takes rook, na? And then pawn will take the bishop. No, don't blunder. Yeah, someone told it. Bishop into f5. Simply the. Okay. Bishop into f5. Killer move. Like when I was watching the match, I actually thought of pawn into pawn, which is better, but this is just a knockout look. Point being, if pawn takes bishop, you win the rook. You win an exchange on top of being a piece up. And if rook takes rook, you will not take back. You will take this first, intermediate rook, intermezzo. And after king takes, now you will take with the rook. And that means you are basically a full rook up. And that's it. So before he played rook to h5, his time ran out. And that means it's a good day for Gukesh. Just before the rest day, he won the game. And it scores a level. 1.5, 1.5. And that's it. Now 11 games remain. And if there's a win or a loss, I'll definitely make a video like this, a live video, so that we can analyze the game together. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Bye, everybody. Have a